A confident sign from Russia's special envoy as he met for a second day with US mediators in Miami. He does, according to the US, hold all the cards. Kirill Dmitriev told reporters the talks had gone well.
Unfortunately, we're private property. You're not allowing property.
After 3 days of talks in Florida, US envoy Steve Witkoff posted on X that the talks had been constructive, saying Russia remained committed to achieving peace in Ukraine. He said his talks with the Ukrainian side focused on security guarantees and future economic prosperity. But speaking in Kyiv, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky urged the US to put more pressure on Moscow.
Everyone must see that without pressure on Russia, they have no intention of genuinely ending their aggression. The pressure must increase. We will remain in contact with partners, with everyone who can help us defend our state, our people, our energy sector, and our resilience. With everyone who is working to exert pressure on Russia, with everyone who is making the end of the war real.
In fact, new US intelligence suggests Russian President Vladimir Putin has not abandoned his ambition to reclaim all of Ukraine and some smaller European countries that were part of the former Soviet Union. At his end-of-year address, Putin made it clear he is not in the mood to negotiate.
We are ready and willing to resolve the conflict by peaceful means on the basis of the principles that I set out in June of last year at the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and provided that the causes that led to this crisis are eliminated.
For both sides, that means territory. The US is proposing security guarantees for Ukraine, but Kyiv would need to cede land, something Zelensky said on Saturday would have to be put to the Ukrainian people in a referendum. President Putin wants the whole of the Donbass region and more, and says Russia can take it by force if Kyiv doesn't cede to Moscow's terms. The US says it is trying to reach a negotiated settlement.
What we're trying to figure out here is what can Ukraine live with and what can Russia live with, sort of identify what both sides' positions are and see if we can sort of drive them towards each other to some agreement.
US officials had proposed face-to-face talks between the Russian and Ukrainian sides. As all were in Miami, it made sense, but it was always unlikely. The last time these two sides met across the table was in Istanbul in July, when they agreed to a prisoner swap. For now, the US continues its shuttle diplomacy going back and forth between the two sides. President Zelensky is hoping the US will apply more pressure on Moscow, but with President Putin standing firm, it's unclear whether these talks will break the impasse. Selina Downes, TRT World, in Miami, Florida.